G'day viewers, this week we're up north with a group of mates exploring what life off-road means to local Brisbane four-wheel drivers. We're heading for some beach and we're heading to the bush. So join me and the team from Life Off-Road as we head to the Noosa foreshore and beyond.
We're down here filming 3 days with Life Off-Road. We're here with some really great industry friends. We're actually at Noosa foreshore. We're going to do a beach run, head across into Kenilworth tomorrow and explore some of the bush tracks before we head back home on Saturday. Really excited to do this trip. I've bought the Y62. This is actually my new car. I've just bought it. Spent the last week up until 1 AM getting it ready for this trip.
We've come along this trip, we bought the trusty company Prado. It's fairly decked out. We've got obviously the right tyres, a bit of ARB gear on it, BP51s, main mother recovery gear. It's going to be a very diverse trip. We're going to have some beautiful scenery and then we head into the hinterland.
I'm in the Mitsubishi Triton. We've got two 12,000 pound winches and a 9500 on board with synthetic rope. And I feel that those winches will be absolutely vital when we're out in the Imbil and Kenilworth forest area.
So I've got the 100 series with me. Absolutely fantastic car, very well set up, ready to tackle some tracks and see what we can do with it.
Really great to be here on this trip. Obviously Simon doing a bit with Iveco now, so now we've come in a lot here, met a lot of mates from the industry here. Basically, like anyone else does for driving, where it's all about getting a group of guys together doing a trip. It's quite a familiar part of the world for us here. We've got the beach and outdoors, so it's quite nice to show everybody our area of Australia, I guess.
We're here over at Noosa North Shore. We've just aired down, ready to go on the beach. I'm in my Ranger, which has just got basically a 2-inch lift kit, full bar, lights, our canopy of course, the new one. And we're ready for a good 3 days out with Life Off-Road.
I'll tell you what, nice to be out of Melbourne weather. It's certainly a little bit warmer up here. Beautiful spot. I've travelled all over Australia, but never actually been here. Chris, what have you got organised for us?
Well, today we've just got off the Noosa ferry and we're going to drive along Tiwa Beach here, go up towards the Tiwa campground.
Chris from Treader's been leading the convoy so far, and yeah, so far been a really good guide, showing us some really nice spots. I'm really looking forward to heading further north up the beach.
The sand quickly gets soft in this area, so set your tyre pressures. That's why they've got the bays out front.
And not far from here, the whole legend up here north of Brisbane. I got stuck at Inskip Point.
Oh mate, yeah, I can't wait until you get your name on that.
We were very fortunate here that we had a local guide with us. Some of the boys here know this area very, very well.
Go from there to Inskip and let's just see where everyone gets stuck and see if we can't get some of these guys stuck. When you're going off-road, you need to carry essential recovery gear. Now, we don't want to get stuck, but we need to plan for the event that we do get stuck. We need to mount our solutions in a place that they're quick and easily accessible so we can get out of the way. Now, if you look at where we're at Noosa, you've got tidal problems. You don't want to spend 20, 30, 40 minutes getting everything out of your car to access the recovery equipment you need to get yourself going. So you've got to put it in the right place, and that's where mounting solutions are really handy in things like a tread recovery board. Everybody's vehicles are set up differently. You've only got to look at our convoy here and you'll see that everybody has a different roof rack system on there or a mounting cage, or some have nothing. You know, they've stored it in the back of the car. Tread offers a mounting kit that you can mount onto many different areas. It's a quick release pin, push a button, pull it out, slide the boards off. The top has a little turning head, and the little turning head lines up 2 holes and you can put a padlock through it. So it makes it a lot easier to safely store it and also deter thefts.
Not a lot of places in Australia where you can do such an expansive driving in one area, but here we are, significantly north of Brisbane, and it's all beach driving. It's a fantastic part of the world. Basically, this is a gateway to Fraser Island.
A few of us have made the trip up from Victoria, so getting up into sunny Queensland was just fantastic. The weather is amazing. Driving along, just soaking it all up, enjoying it.
The weather is absolutely perfect here in Queensland today. Couldn't have asked for better weather. Sun's out, not even a cloud in the sky. The surf out here to the left, absolutely amazing. This is why people come to Queensland.
Tremendous amount of families because it's school holidays up here, so the beach is absolutely packed. A load of kids having a lot of fun, and it's definitely a top destination. You're about 2 hours out of Brisbane and you've got some of the best beach driving that you'll experience. We noticed a load of people just camping and chilling out, just taking in the sun, enjoying it. About 24 degrees today, and I think every day that we're here is going to increase, so looking forward to the next couple.
Beach driving here in Queensland, it's not challenging. It certainly can throw up some challenges with some soft sand. If you're not ready, you don't have the tyre pressures right or the right gear to get you going. But beach driving here is definitely about just getting out and enjoying just the beautiful weather that Queensland has to offer.
Picked the tide's perfect, so we were in an outgoing tide, which gave us plenty of room on the beach, allowed a lot of room for other vehicles to pass us. And just the etiquette, some of us coming here didn't really know that it was an actual gazetted road on the beach. So Chris filled us in this morning, gave us all the tips to make sure we treat it like a road.
Driving on these sands is like driving on a bitumen road in many respects if you get the hard pack stuff. And we have good speed limits. I mean, some of the sections through here are 80 kilometres an hour, and you quite comfortably can do 80 kilometres on the beach, but you've got to know your vehicle and understand it really well before you start trying to attempt those speeds.
Today we're finding a bit of a diverse range of sand from soft to hard. There's a fair bit of traffic on the beach. You're having to go up high into the soft sand to let them pass, which is the courteous thing to do. You don't want them to drive through the water. And you find out you slow right down for that because at lower tyre pressures it can become very easy on any sharp turns to pull the tyre off the rim and obviously inflate the tyre. That's the last thing you want to do here. What we've done, we've got the tyre pressures now down to 20 psi, get a nice big footprint. Working very well on the soft sand. The hard sand, no issue at all, but we've got to keep that speed down below 80 kilometres an hour so we don't create too much heat within the carcass of the tyre. This being a more aggressive tyre, we've lowered the tyre pressures even further, just so it gets a bigger footprint because it is a digging tyre. It is actually working very well. We're not having to accelerate any harder or anything like that. It's floating across the top. Those lower tyre pressures do help. Flex groove around the tyre is helping as well, because what that does is when it's at lower pressure, it actually closes that up and creates another tread lock for the tyre to grip.
As you come along the sand, the one thing you really need to watch out for here is the washouts. Basically, there's a lot of water pressure coming from underneath this big dune. It pushes through and presents itself on the beach as a massive channel of water. If you hit those, some of them can be 600 mil high. I have been here and I have seen entire axles rip out of vehicles. It is something you need to pay attention, and that is why there's speed limit zones and there's also an 80k cap on the beach.
There's a lot of whoops and little washouts areas. You've got to be really careful. So even though the speed limit says 80 or 50 or 60, you do really need to look ahead. Some of those whoops from the tidal marks do throw up sooner, and sometimes it's harder to see. There are definitely a lot of washouts, especially through the TOR camping area. There's a lot of washouts as the water comes up high and then pulls back. So definitely got to take care. Also definitely respect the dunes and the sand. You don't want to display sand or do anything silly. Let's enjoy driving it.
The other thing you have to watch out driving up the beach here, it's school holidays at the moment, so there's a lot of little ones running to and from, so you have to have your wits about you.
Kids running around, mums chasing them, people everywhere. Limit your speed when you have to, keep your eyes on them, always be vigilant on the beach, very important.
A few years ago there was quite an incident at Fraser Island, and it's important for everyone that's coming out here to realise that by exceeding speed limits and everything, it will shut this area down. This is something I'm really emphatic about because this is our backyard. We come here all the time. I want to be able to take my grandkids here and drive along on the beach without having the issues.
I recommend only sticking to around that 60 kilometres. Give yourself time to stop.
I'll say to anyone, come here, have an awesome time, but just be sensible.
So we've been taking our time and being cautious while overtaking. We've had a beautiful morning heading up from Noosa North Shore up towards Tiwa. So I'm cruising along in the Me Mother Triton, absolutely purring like a kitten, having a great trip, really loving the beach.
We were pretty cool getting along the beach. It was a fantastic day.
You just need to do it. That's all it comes down to.
As the day wore on, the tide went out, the sand got a lot harder. It was just like driving on a highway.
They're fairly straight, easy going. We've got the tides right, so that's the most important thing when you come up to this place. You've got to really get that right because driving through soft sand otherwise, and it's hard on equipment and it's just dangerous really.
Decided we'd just up the pressures a little bit, bring them up to 24 so the tyres didn't heat up too much because we were doing it at 70 kilometres an hour.
It's good having the big truck to knock everyone else out of the way just for a laugh, but yeah, the Iveco went pretty well, but I mean there's nothing for a vehicle like that.
Mitsubishi Triton's probably the lowest out of all the vehicles on this trip, so being a little bit cautious with some of the ruts and things like that, but actually been performing really, really well. Haven't bottomed out, haven't moved the bar or anything silly like that. It's actually paired along really well and I've been very comfortable all the trip.
It is important when you come out these areas is make sure the vehicle's set up. Have the right equipment, have your recovery gear, make sure you've got compressors to air back up when you air down so you don't destroy your tyres. And as we discovered today, a simple thing like jumper leads, we rescued a gentleman on the beach.
We lined up a few of the vehicles and just as I was about to go, I got a tap on the window. It was one of the locals who left his battery on with the accessories charged and a few phones for the kids. We're very fortunate. He actually came up to us and he said, "You look like a couple of guys that have everything." And I go, "Yeah, you're pretty right, mate. We think we have everything."
Managed to pull up, pop the bonnet, Simon and Mike had under control, jumper leads, jump started the car, started first shot, popped the bonnets down, we went on our merry way.
The kids were quite happy in the end. They got a few free gifts from us, a couple of hats and water bottles and that sort of thing.
That's what it's about, you know, good weather, good people, good mateship, just help everybody out. I mean, we're all here to enjoy the same thing, which is our vehicles and the destination.
A winch is a fantastic recovery tool, but it's only as good as what you bolt it to. There are plenty of bull bars on the market, but they're not all the same. Winching can generate incredible forces, and if your bar's not up to the task, it can bend, stretch, or even fall straight off. So when installing a winch, the first thing you want to do is ensure you've got a good quality bar. Another really important part about installation is getting power to your winch. You want high quality copper tinned power leads, and you want to wire both the positive and the earth all the way back to the battery. Don't ever rely on the bull bar or its mounts as the conductor for your earth. Another thing to consider is that different bars are rated for certain winch loads. So never try to fit a 10,000 pound winch into a 9,000 pound winch rated bar.
We did have a couple of water crossings today as well, and they need to be taken with caution.
When you do water crossings, be careful. You don't know how deep they are in some cases, so if you can, walk them before you go through them. Don't go at high speeds because you can cause yourself a lot more grief than what you need to.
With the tide higher, you would not attempt them. We attempted them right at the low tide section, so we knew we could make them.
We're actually lucky enough that some of the other public vehicles have already passed through, so you actually have to check the depth of the water, but we recommend that you do if you're doing it as a solo pass.
Obviously the wading depth on something like a Iveco is quite high. It's about 650 millimetres. They were all salt water, unfortunately, but that's what happens. But do be careful if you're near the smaller vehicles. When you're going through some of those steep washes, they can be a lot deeper than that here. The best thing you can do is to go closer to the water itself. The further you are down the beach, the lower the washouts are going to be, and it really is safe.
go for the side lift-up windows. Look at the size of the opening. The opening's very important. If you're camping, if you're working out of the back, you want to be able to get gear out of it nice and simply without any stress. Having a nice size opening like we have here, you can basically get whatever you need in and out, whether or not it's camping gear, tread boards, whatever you require. Some have hinges coming down and they come through and they become intrusive. With our one, struts on either side, tempered tinted glass, having them tinted is great because then it limits people seeing what you're carrying. One handle operation, one key unlocks all three, one turn opens it up, dual locking system on either side, basically shut like a car door. You got two handles, you got plastic bags in your hand, makes it quite difficult to open the canopy. At least this way here, put them in one hand, open your canopy, put your things inside. Nice and simple. Did a fair bit of beach driving today, which is really, really good. We've ended up now down at Rainbow Beach, which has been fantastic.
What an awesome day. Queensland's turned it on for us. Coming up from Victoria, amazing just to see the sunshine. Get out with all the windows open in the car, no aircon on, just that beautiful warm breeze come in.
Absolutely awesome day on the beach. We've travelled from Noosa all the way up through Tiwa.
We did want to go to Skip Point, but just time didn't allow us. We just enjoyed the driving so much.
There's a place to be. This is where you've got to get out your families. You've got to say, you know what, we're going to finish it Friday, we're going to drive up here and we're just going to do this. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to get here from sun on your back, in the ocean there, have a swim with the kids, and this is what it is about.
After being on the beach and certainly doing saltwater crossings, it's a bit risky for the vehicle, especially if you don't wash it down.
There's going to be a little bit of salt water under the car, and one of the key things to do is just get to a car wash and give the underbody a really good clean.
It's more about the volume of water you're putting on. You're actually trying to dissolve the salt and wash it away. The sand that's left isn't really the issue, it's really removing the salt that causes corrosion.
The first challenge this morning was in the Kenilworth Country Bakery. We did the 1 kilo donut challenge. There's 4 of us that had a go at it.
4 of them decided to do it. Simon, Michael, Jeff and Ben. I decided not to compete, so I went for the little one. That's all I had.
I haven't even told you guys the stats. So we've got quickest times, 3 minutes, 10 seconds. Youngest person was 12, he did it in 25 minutes. Oldest person was 78, he did it in 26 minutes. 5% of people finish.
5%.
Had one person do 2 at once. Toilets are up the driveway on the right. Failing that, there is a garden behind you.
Everyone goes into one of these things thinking they're going to win. Certainly Simon looked like he was destroyed when he's standing in front of it. Mike looked like it was a regular breakfast for him.
I reckon that's it for me. I've eaten across the top. I don't know if you call that half, but that's definitely too much sugar for me. I'm done.
Mike struggled with it big time. I think too much sugar for the big guy.
What do you get if you finish it? You get the bragging rights. You get the credit.
To my dismay, Michael actually won it. I couldn't believe it.
Paramedic.
It was quite funny, the paramedics turning up last minute, which is handy because we were able to get a health check on Mike.
Thank you for your help.
I hope you feel better soon.
What an incredible first day it has been checking out the beaches and the off-roading opportunities north of Brisbane. Make sure you're watching Life Off-Road next week when we continue our westward exploration out past Kenilworth. I'm Simon Christie. Thank you for watching. Tread lightly, keep it safe, play hard. I'll see you next week.